Excuse me, is this the location for Dorset Wine Festival episode number 7? I think it is. Yeah, let's go. Episode number 7, Dorset Wine Festival at Trethowans, Bournemouth. No, do it again, I don't like that. Episode number 7 of Dorset Wine Festival here at Trethowans in Bournemouth. Shall we go and see what these guys are all about? Plus, let's bring them a gift from our friends at Loma, shall we? Let's do it. Our friend Laura should be expecting us, so let's see if she's ready. Good afternoon. We made it in time.
We did.
And we also brought a present for you from our friends at Loma Farm in Bridport. Are we allowed to come in? Do we need to sign any waivers? I know you guys are lawyers, so very careful. I just want to cover any clause. Thank you very much.
So welcome to our Bournemouth office.
Thank you very much indeed. And this is one of many offices, I believe.
One of our 5 in the South region. Our main office is in Southampton, and we have Winchester, Salisbury, Bournemouth and Poole. Not
too shabby, eh? So today we're going to talk a little bit about the history of Trethowans and more specifically what you do, which is pretty much related with wine and what we're trying to achieve with the festival. So do you have a space where we can settle in? And
absolutely.
Just unconscious, I don't want to be sued by anybody else.
That's good.
Is that free speech in it?
Come to the boardroom.
So thank you for having us, first and foremost. Very excited to be here. Long time coming, for a variety of reasons. We managed to get there in the end.
We did.
We're now 1 month away to effectively the festival happening. The excitement is very high, but the excitement is also very high because Trethowans is now one of the official sponsors of the festival. So Laura, tell me a little bit, what is Trethowans?
So we are a law firm based along the south coast. We have offices in Southampton, Winchester, Salisbury, Bournemouth and Poole, and we are what's known as a full service law firm. So we offer services to corporate businesses, partnerships, but that sort of business section, and also to private clients. So our commercial corporate teams focus on corporate matters, mergers, acquisitions, shareholdings, that sort of thing. We do commercial contracts, we have commercial property lawyers, we have dispute lawyers, and all
bit of
that.
Everything, eh?
And then our private client team offer advice to individuals, whether that's marital advice, employment law, tax and estate planning, that sort of thing.
Mentioning the tax, that brings me to an important point. I'm sorry, but I saw that in the background and I think this will fit quite nicely. Can you get both the logo? Right, so now we are officially in progress. Right, now jokes aside, I've known Trethowans now for probably 6-7 years through a friend of ours that we have in common, and I've always seen Trethowans as the best law firm in the South Coast. So it means a lot to me to have you guys on board because I was always looking at you as, you know, a giant in the industry and a name that I wanted to be, you know, attached with in some ways like we're doing now. But for people that don't know Trethowans, what is special about you guys, I think personally, is that obviously as your logo says, law as it should be, is the way that you connect with people of any walk of life, literally. And do you think is this your secret as a firm, or is there anything else that maybe is not transpiring from the background?
We have fundamental values in the firm, and client focus and client experience goes to the very heart of what we actually do. So ensuring that our client, whether they're corporate or individual, comes out with the best experience of a law firm. You know, very often these people come to us at a really difficult time of their life. And we very much hope to sort of take that position of trusted advisor. I'm in the commercial team, so I deal only really with sort of corporate clients. And we like to see ourselves as an outsourced sort of in-house lawyer, if you like, because we like to put ourselves in the positions of our clients so that we operate and deal with them as if we were an in-house member of their team.
Which again, for a lot of people, when it comes to approach a situation that requires a law firm, that requires obviously a solicitor, a lawyer, it is a scary time. It is the fear of the unknown. It is the fear of what's going to happen. So having somebody that is actually there for you, I think it makes a hell of a lot of a difference. But more specifically, what I'm interested in, what is that you deal with that is, let's say, connected to the wine festival in some way?
So this is a personal passion of mine because I have for many years operated within the English sparkling wine sector, because I focus very much on branding and the importance of branding for clients and how we can protect that and how we can stop others using that branding. Right. So that's my initial hook to English sparkling wines as clients. And yeah, I'm very proud of my client base.
Well, speaking of English sparkling wine, we have a little beauty, personal favorite of mine from our trip, Aluma Farm and Retreat. And Nikki and Jonathan were absolutely incredibly kind enough to give one for us to try today. So shall we?
How lovely. Let's do that.
By the way, it is 6 p.m. Yeah, no, I am 6 p.m. So it is time for a drink, especially considering it is a Monday after all. So.
Yeah. Ooh, nice.
Lovely jubbly. Let's do that. Righty, so to me, this is an absolute beauty for a number of reasons. A, the place that it comes from, which to me, and Joe, I think for you as well, once we went there last time, we were like gobsmacked. The place is absolutely insane. Yeah, because the place is an absolute standard, one of the most unique probably places that you will find in the Jurassic Coast, overseeing the valley and coming down all the way to the beach. It's like a bay that you can see at the bottom. It's
beautiful. Insane.
And as well, there is this little gem of a vineyard that produced this little beauty. So cheers, salute. Let's see what we have. Oh my God, it is absolutely stunning. So I have notes of ginger. I have a little bit of oak barrel. There is some raisins as well that you can maybe get to the back of it. And in your mouth, it's very round, it's very delicate, it's very nearly creamy. As a taste. And to me, for an English sparkling wine, this is amazing. This is a wine that I can drink pretty much every day, not getting bored of it, because it's a very easy drinking wine.
It's lovely.
Which is hard to create, obviously, in England, but there is this growing movement. There is now tons and tons of vineyards growing all across the country. Yeah. That will also need somebody like you to prevent somebody else like snatching the
So what I would do with Luma is I would now do a trademark search for them and check that there's nothing else existing on the register. And I would help them then protect that brand at the trademarks registry in the UK and internationally. And then I would work with them in terms of what is their strategy for expansion? Where are they looking to go next? How can we align that commercial strategy with an IP strategy so that we can protect this name wherever they need to and they don't end up having to rebrand?
Very interesting. So How many companies in the UK do you think currently understand that this is something that they need in order to protect themselves?
I think the awareness of the importance of your intellectual property, because that's what this is definitely growing. I worked in London for many, many years, and people would have an IP budget because the clients were so big. But moving out of London, I was quite shocked at how little people valued their IP and then looked after and exploited it. But the awareness is definitely coming. I think, sadly, people don't often think about it until there's a dispute, because people carry on building their business, focusing on, are the grapes growing properly? Are my processes in place with regard to taking it to market? Have I got the employees? Have I got the staff? Have I got the capital? How do I sell this wine? And they only think about the branding. Well, they've spent so much money on this beautiful brand to take it to market, but they do need to put some thought behind, how do I then protect that, and how do I stop others from exploiting?
So pretty much like having an insurance, right? You don't buy insurance when you have an accident, you get it before to get you covered.
I think it's more than that. It puts a tangible boundary around an intangible asset. So what is your goodwill? Your goodwill is your reputation. If you consolidate that within a registered trademark, then it becomes a tangible bit of property.
That's super interesting. Super, super interesting. Because personally speaking, even myself, even now that you mention it, it seems like something that everybody should do and think of. But you don't really get that until maybe it's too late.
Yeah. And I think sometimes there's the fear over what's it going to cost me. And I can tell you that trademarks, compared to things like patents, which are tens of thousands of pounds, trademarks are absolutely worth doing. They are cost effective. You can get a trademark at the UK Intellectual Property Office for probably less than £1,000.
Oh, wow. And that is for your logo? Is that for your name? Is that for the brand that you build as a whole? Or?
Yeah, so what we try and do is build you a little portfolio of all of those, if you like. So we would go for the name Dorset Wine Festival because that's important. We would go for your lovely logo because that's important. And we don't want to combine the two, because the two become a composite mark. You can't then separate the different elements. So we would apply for two applications, one for the logo and one for the mark.
Okay.
And we then apply to protect it in relation to the goods and services that you offer. So it will be the bringing together of people for a fabulous wine festival in Dorset. It will be the sales of wines. It would be education, because you're doing master classes.
True.
And you're sort of disseminating knowledge to the guests that are going to be there. So we think about, what do you want to cover and how can we do that?
Super, super interesting. And I think it's also giving me a lot to think about now that we mention it, because again, all of this obviously being the first festival is new to me, and it makes a lot of sense when you say it, and it makes a lot of sense to do that early rather than later on, because...
Yes, apart from you can't protect a mark which is descriptive. So, because what you're doing essentially is asking the Intellectual Property Office to grant you a monopoly over this name so that you can stop anybody else using it. So if your mark is descriptive, the IPO is likely to say, well, these are terms that any other trader might wish legitimately to use without actually stepping on your toes. So where your mark is descriptive, they ask you to show that through the use you've made of that mark, you have made it distinctive to your goods and services. Yeah. So they normally ask for 5 years use, but what we would do with yours is we would file it first with the logo as well. So I've just said we wouldn't, because you end up with a composite mark. But in this case, where it is descriptive of a wine festival in Dorset, if we file it with the logo makes it inherently more distinctive, and we would probably get that through. And then in 5 years' time, we can go look at all this amazing use. Loads of people know this festival as being ours. No one else would do a Dorset Wine Festival because it would be treading on our toes, and we would be able to get it through on its own.
And I think this is invaluable. You know, it to me now, I'm start thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, as soon as I go back home, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do... And I think this is also what amazes me about these sorts of partnerships that we have with businesses like Trethowans, is that we give people the raw facts, the raw, hey, this is happening and this is something that you need to be aware of. Because sometimes people are like in a bubble, right? They're like, oh, everything is going to be fine. Oh, I don't need this. Whoever is going to come and touch this, I'll be all right. The reality is not. There is a lot of people out there try to get you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's back to the point about people only tend to go to lawyers sometimes when
it's too late.
Things have all gone wrong. And the beauty of Trethowans is our specialism in this particular sector.
Yeah.
So we have an agricultural team.
Oh, wow.
We have an agri team, a whole team that deals with vineyards and sales of agricultural land in that for that purpose. And we have an
relevant.
Yeah, indeed. We have employment teams that deal with employee fallouts, but also immigration issues for people coming over to pick grapes in the summer and things like that. We have a commercial team that deals with distribution agreements, that deals with sales to either businesses or to consumers. We have a dispute team for when things go wrong.
So pretty much the whole journey.
The whole journey, and we have a particular team which draws in members from all those different sectors to be our sort of vineyard dream team, if you like. Yeah.
And I don't know any other law firm that does that. And I might be biased, obviously, because you guys are here, but when we spoke and you told me that you guys do that, I was like, what? Yeah. Really? I think it's so neat, it's very unique, and again, the more obviously we go along with the festival, the more people will know about us, the more people will know about you. And if we can help one business, you know, protect themselves and prevent something from happening because of this documentary, I think that's job done.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, we mentioned it when we very first met, it's one of the things I love most about my job is the value that I can add at such an early stage for pretty much £1,000.
Yeah. And if you think in the grand scheme of things, £1,000 against losing all of you built in years and years of work.
Well, a legal dispute for an unregistered trademark, which is now not recognised at law, and so you have to rely on passing off action, is extremely complicated and will cost you probably £75,000.
I nearly spat that wine. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's true.
It's slightly more than £1,000, is it? So, if you're watching this, have a think about it, because 75 sounds a lot more than 1 to me. Yeah. Where I'm come from, but
even my maths.
And I'm not great at it, but and that's why we have Walton Accountancy doing all of that for us.
Exactly.
So, there you go. Another mention. It's all well and good in talking generically. Is there an example that you can give us when you protected them and as a result of that they avoided quite some damage?
So I can't give you a specific name, but yes, there was a vineyard in Dorset.
In Dorset,
actually, who had quite a serious trademark dispute because their competitor at a very, very early stage registered their trademark and kept it quiet. And so when we went to register the trademark, probably 15 years later, there was an issue because the trademark was already registered and they had been trading with it. So you have to trade with that trademark within the first 5 years, and they had done very low under the radar trading with that brand, and was subsequently going to start bringing it to the fore. And we were like, but you can't, because that's our brand and we're really well known for wines in this sector. And we had a big bust up about it, but we're successful.
That's scary.
Yeah.
from my understanding as well as maybe somebody else that is watching this, being trademark is having that little R with the circle around it.
So the R in a circle, it's actually a criminal offence to use that if your trademark is not registered. So for anyone that is using the R in the circle, we'll send them food parcels to prison. But if your trademark is not registered, you can use the little TM symbol. And that means you have an unregistered trademark. And that was recognised at law until the new Act of 1994. But now it's not. But people still think that means you've got a registered trademark. So you can use the TM, but it's not registered. The R in a circle is what you use when your mark has become registered. And I just think that shows third parties that you have taken the step to protect your rights. You know what your rights are.
Yes, you're right.
And you come over as much more commercially aware, I think, if you're showing people that I know this trademark is registered because I know the value behind it.
I think this is amazing content and amazing value for people. This is nuts. There is so much that A, I was not thinking about. B, makes a lot of sense now that you said. And C, for me, most importantly, the ease of your explanation for somebody like me that is alien to all of this. So easy for me to digest, so easy for me to comprehend, so easy for me to actually look at it and be like, okay, makes sense. Something that I need sooner rather than later.
That's good. You need to come to one of my IP workshops. I do them at the Foundry, actually, because we not only talk about trademarks and copyrights and patents, but we talk about how IP is created and who owns it, and then how you protect it, and then pitfalls to think about when you outsource anything to a third party, and then how working in collaboration can be difficult. There's all these fabulous things. I told you I loved my job.
Yes. Speaking of branding.
Yeah.
The camera's good, yeah. Then I think, to be fair, I was not expecting all of this great knowledge.
Oh, good.
Understanding all that you said with that simplicity. Is that also a secret of Trethowans?
I would hope so. I mean, we really do work hard to try and make law accessible, if you like, and understandable to our clients. I think historically lawyers were very much in their ivory towers, and it was this hallowed profession that no one really went near, and you had to wait months for your lawyer to answer your letter. And now we have clients WhatsApp us because they don't like email anymore, or they pick up the phone, and we are very much there for our clients.
So I like what you just said about WhatsApp and the different ways of communication. How did you see law changing in, say, the last decade?
I think that accessibility to a legal advisor who makes things understandable and speaks in your own language is really what has changed a lot. We don't draft contracts anymore with hitherfore to and above for mentioned. And in my world, if we're getting down to paragraph 1.4.5 subsection A, then something's gone wrong with the drafting, frankly, because sentences can be shorter and more understandable than that.
Yeah, and also for somebody like me, I will never go that far if there's some section like that. I'm all right, I'm done. And
and then our response times, are pretty much instant, or certainly overnight. I have emails all the time, and I will go, I've got your email, so that the client knows that their concern is being addressed, and I will get back to you by.
And is that every lawyer in the firm or just you?
No, not just me. And actually some are even more responsive than I am. Our poor corporate team in August have been absolutely swamped. But we are all responsive.
Which, again, for somebody approaching maybe these scenarios for the first time is something that maybe takes a little bit of pressure off your shoulder, or it puts you at ease a little bit better because.
I mean, if you're in that dispute scenario, whether that's matrimonial or business or, you know, employment or whatever, you don't want a 4-day wait time, do you? You want a solicitor that's going to go, I hear you.
Because wait is stress, wait is anxiety, and all of that comes with it, right? So I think it's amazing what you guys are doing. Again, probably the biggest law firm in the South Coast, we can say.
I think one of, certainly, you know.
Definitely my favourite too.
Do you know, it's a really great place to work. I've worked in other law firms nationally and along the South Coast, and it's a really great place to work. Everybody is energised and on it and really loves their job. It's a really great place.
And because I've always been fascinated since watching Suits.
I'm still waiting for my office and my Jimmy Choos.
Is there reality close to that? I mean, is it really tough to get into legal these days? Is it really tough to make your way up? Is it really tough to, you know, on a day-to-day battling with everything that comes at you?
To get into law is now much easier, and the legal profession has opened up hugely. So we now take apprenticeships. So we now have apprenticeships for children leaving school at the age of 17. We also, for many, many years, have run accreditations and exams for secretaries working their way up through. So their secretarial experience, because they are invaluable, you know, half the time they run some of the transactions as well as doing admin. They don't just type anymore. They are fabulous and often legally qualified. So they can then, yes, Donna, exactly.
I love Suits, I'm sorry.
I know,
Yeah,
it's amazing. So they can work their way up to become a fully qualified solicitor. So I think access to the legal world in terms of qualification has got much easier. In terms of making it to the top, you know, it's stickability. It is a hard job. There are pressures, in any job, you know, as you get higher and higher and become more and more responsible. For your team, for your workload, you know, for budgets, you get more involved in the running of the firm. Yeah, it can be really pressured, but I think most of us thrive on that.
And how do you as a firm support that process for people coming up?
So we do have the apprenticeship program. We support all of our junior lawyers in terms of how they grow through the firm. We do performance reviews. We have a wellbeing team. We have regular line manager training, you know, so yeah, we do try and support all of our staff.
That's amazing, because for me, when a company has its employees at the very, very center of their mind, you're only going to go in the right place, because obviously...
And this firm really does that, you know. They have Amazon vouchers awarded for all sorts of things. You know, you'll get an email in the morning.
I can use a couple of those to refer to, especially with baby coming. Amazon is through the door every day, twice a day sometimes.
We have Fizzy Friday on the last Friday of the month in each of the offices.
You never invited me to.
Oh, well, you'll have to come along.
I'll sacrifice myself to it. If that's what I'm required to, I will oblige, absolutely.
And then we do a quarterly Q&A with the managing partner, where anybody in the firm can write their question to the managing partner and he will stand up and respond to it. So from things like, why do we use the coffee that we do? It's rubbish. We'd like a new one. You know, we've now sourced different coffee for the offices.
Do you actually?
Yes, we have. You know, he really takes it all seriously, takes it on board, goes away and resolves whatever problem has been, you know, brought to his attention.
Nice. Very interesting. So I guess at this point is, what does the future look like for Trethowans?
Hopefully bright. I mean, we are growing. we have real trouble keeping up with the number of lawyers, with the amount of work that's coming in, you know, our corporate team and our commercial property team. That there are other teams that are equally busy, but particularly in this office in Bournemouth, have been extremely busy over the summer. And I think where we normally find that the summer goes quiet because the owner-managed businesses tend to go on holiday and go a bit quieter, some of our clients are now so big that actually it doesn't matter who's on holiday, that the deals have continued. And we struggle, as lots of other law firms are in the area, actually to recruit at the appropriate level to make things then, you know, to bring someone in so that they can hit the floor running.
So if you qualified and you're looking for the best law firm to work with in the South Coast,
come and let us know.
Come and let us know. I will not be scrutinizing you. You'll go through Laura. So unfortunately, wine is not going to be on the table during your interview, but I think it will still be a very pleasant experience because you have been extremely pleasant, Laura. And since we're here drinking wine, talking about a wine festival, what made you make the decision of sponsoring and become a partner of Dorset Wine Festival?
Several reasons. Mainly because I think sponsoring the Dorset Wine Festival absolutely aligns with how Trethowans view themselves within the Dorset community and the sort of support that we want to be giving the Dorset business and individuals. It really aligns with our branding and where we want to position ourselves. And then secondly, for me, an entirely selfish thing, because I have this particular love of my English sparkling wine clients in particular, but just generally Dorset vineyards.
Then cheers to that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, you seem really well into your wines, but which one is your favorite?
So I think non-sparkling.
Non-sparkling,
I absolutely love the Forester's FMC Chenin Blanc, which I had for the first time down in West Beach years and years and years ago. And then sparkling, I was given a bottle of Krug many, many, many years ago by a client for whom I was working on my 30th birthday, whilst all my friends were in the pub celebrating, and they got me that as a thank you.
So that's also some emotional attachment to it, isn't it? It's not just the taste, it's the situation, it's the scenario and everything else.
Yeah.
Now, what are you most looking forward to coming to Dorset Wine Festival this October 5th and 6th?
Oh, so from a firm perspective, I think meeting all the exhibitors and seeing how we can help them. But from an personal, individual perspective, I absolutely love Highcliffe Castle. You know, I swim from there several times a week. Really looking forward to seeing it in that sort of commercial sector. I've been to weddings there and that sort of thing, so really looking forward to that. And then coming to a masterclass or two.
With that said, tickets are running low. Saturday is almost sold out now. £25, you will get entry to the castle, personalized glass, bottle of water. Try and sample all of the wine exhibitors inside the castle, which is now north of 60. Get to meet Laura, get to meet me, get to meet Joe. Look at all of the supercars that we have in the garden, listen to all of the beautiful music we have in the dining room, try all of the stunning Dorset-based food coming to produce artisan products for you at the festival. 5th and 6th of October, we're going to be there. Trethowans is going to be there. Laura, it's been an absolute pleasure being here with you today.
Thank you
very much for having us, and we will see you at the festival.
Lovely.